I moved to Wisconsin. I had a brand new job, my dream job, brand new wife, child on the way. When there are a lot of big things happening, I think one can spend a lot of their time judging their situation. In other words, suddenly life becomes more about one's judgments than maybe about just experiencing it. I took some time out and I would walk down to the river, which is 50 yards or so from my doorstep. I'd bring my camera, and as the sun was setting behind me, I would just open my shutter for 15, 20 seconds, sometimes 4 minutes. And in that time when my shutter was open, it's as if it gave me a moment to reflect. As I framed up shore to shore, bank to bank, as opposed to framing houses or the banks themselves, the rocks, it felt as though I escaped those judgments. That being that's sort of the intellectual and emotional process I went through in order to come to this work. I guess as the artist, it really is my duty, I think, to allow the art to lead me as opposed to force me to lead my art. And I think that on the one hand, I allowed this art to lead me up until the point where I needed to make a decision what would be hung on the wall, and I couldn't get out of my own way. I couldn't do it though. I could not let go enough, and I did. I provided context. I provided context enough for you to figure out what was going on, and for pretty much everyone else to figure out what was going on. I wasn't ready to let go, and I would actually say that that's part of its failure. I do wonder if I had let those body images exist on their own, even separated from each other, what would have happened to you as my viewer? What would you have perceived? I might have limited your experience of that work by including so much context. I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all. It's part of the process. If I don't make discoveries along the way, then I might as well stop now. And one of the discoveries I made was that indeed I have a real difficult time getting out of my own way. I want so badly to show students that there's a different way of seeing the world. I think that not just the students now, but the adults now as well, our attention is forced outward. We are not necessarily individuals, most of us, who are capable of looking at anything in any depth. There's just so much to behold. Our awareness is broad. And so I really want to help to stop students, to show them that there's a way to come to understand themselves deeper, and that their attention they don't need to listen to the call outward, they can also listen to the call inward. And I guess part of what I do is I just try to shock them every so often into seeing something that they didn't know was there, and hopefully they capture it with their camera, but if they don't, they still learn something, I think.